All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel. And before we get started, we have a special going on with the Boston Marathon. So 10 days, 10 guests, 15, 20 minutes, and we're going to get to learn more about some of these. Some are in DFW, most of them are, and some have been in DFW, and some haven't or moved off. But in this case, Tats Arai. Tots,
Yeah,
how are you
thoughts.
doing?
Cool. Yeah, thank you for having me, Chris.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you for sure. And we were talking a little bit before. You've run about 10 marathons,
Yeah,
Boston marathons, that is.
yeah, I did 10 Boston Marathon already.
And I want to get into it. Let's talk about your very first Boston Marathon and what that meant. How'd you get there and that kind of stuff? Let's do that first.
Like the first Boston Marathon for me was just very serendipity. I just got in. I had a first half marathon back in the day. I don't know, probably like a 2008 time
Mhm.
that got me like a New York City Marathon qualifying time. And I ran New York City Marathon 2009. That got me my first Boston Marathon qualifying time. And so my first Boston Marathon was 2011. Yeah, like I just, I don't know, like a naturally okay. But
But
then,
tell me about the marathon itself. Like when you first went, were you like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, or this is really hard, or anything that stood out? Or
it's actually not really. Yeah, it seems like I was just able to be qualified for it. I knew it. That was like a big deal. I was able to make it, but my time was just around the time. It's more than 10 years ago. Qualifying time was much easier. Like my time was 30. I don't know, 3:02. So that, yeah, I always wanted to, I wanted to make it like sub 3, but that was it. And then around the time I was in a graduate school, yeah, the marathon wasn't necessarily be my first priority, but
hmm.
I was able to run like without.
Yeah, first
Then
marathon. That's pretty
that
good
was
though.
the
I
first
mean,
one.
not bad. Yeah.
But then
Go ahead.
once I defended my dissertation, and then I don't know, lost my like physical ability around that time. It's toward the end of my graduate school, and then of course like I lost the ability to magically be qualifying for the Boston, and then so I missed the Boston qualifying time between 2013 to 2015. So that's when I actually like seriously that engaged to running more.
Yeah.
And 2014 is the time that I moved to Dallas, and then I immediately start to like working with folks in the running club as well as a co-op. And then around the time like I was like a staple member at co-op and like running with folks like Brett Oodle,
Yeah.
James, and those folks.
Javier.
Yeah. Oh, and then running was my way to build my community, meet the friends, get the like interesting
Yep.
folks. And then 2016 or the race in 2015 got the Dallas Marathon, and then that got me like another qualifying time. I came back to Boston like at 2016, first time in I don't know 3 4 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel good. That time the marathon became like my passion, and then the Boston
Hmm.
became my goal, that sort of thing.
Anything that, all right, this time around, did anything stand out around Boston Marathon? That was fun. Oh my gosh, this part was amazing.
So this time, this is why I want to talk to like that. I want to reach out to my old friends in Dallas and then folks in the running community. I'm running the unique format of a marathon. It's dual. This time I'm running a friend. I'm running with a friend from graduate school and who has the like a physical disability, ALS,
Okay.
and his name is Scott. And the Scott is on wheelchair, and then I'm pushing him
Oh well.
and then they're running a Boston. So I don't know, like what Boston mean to me or mean to us. This is a different one. Like first, of course, it was a challenge for me to be qualifying. It's just that the showing up there is the important thing. But
Yeah.
when I get there 10 times, the opportunity itself becomes something like kind of reunion with friends. Like when I go there, someone from Dallas is there. And also, I used to live in a lot of different places. Like someone from San Diego is there. And then, So this guy, Scott, is the one of the like, important person that get me Boston year in, year out. Scott Durfman, it's a good friend of mine from graduate school. After he graduated from UC San Diego, that's where we went to school together. He moved to Boston. Yeah, we're good friends, but basically lives like separate, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I go to the Boston Marathon, I see him. I just hang out, and I hang out him. I hang out his friend Ike and his wife and kids, and that became also like my part of Boston trip, a Boston
Love
Marathon
it.
trip. Yeah, and like a 2024. Okay. So I learned that Scott has a disease in 2023.
Well,
Yeah, that was like more than 3 years ago. And then I actually missed my qualifying time for 2024.
well,
Yeah, I didn't handle COVID well, so my training wasn't too good. So it was like the same thing as the time between like 2013 and 2015 that I wasn't doing well. And so 2024, it's the first time in many years I'm not going to Boston in April. And I realized that, oh my God, so I'm not gonna see Scott. And then
yeah.
he has a disease that like no one found the cure. And then I felt, okay, so we need to do something. And I reached out to Scott. Hey, there are like a crazy group of people that they're running a marathon while pushing a wheelchair. And then there's a famous father and son duo called Hoyt.
Yeah.
And they're the one who started in Boston. And we should do that. And Scott, you live in Boston. And then, as far as I know, back in the day, Scott is actually one of the very sort of active human being I know.
Mm.
We built a bond through hiking and skiing, that kind of thing. My favorite joke is always that, given your talent, that you'll be running marathon some of these days, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna run Boston because you live in Boston. You love sports. You're gonna run Boston.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, life has another plan. But
Yeah.
dude, I'll get you there. I'll get you there. Yeah. And then 2025. So we run Marine Corps Marathon together.
Okay.
We rent a chair from this organization called Entry the Angel. And then we run a Marine Corps Marathon together. I push him behind. I push his wheelchair. And then we run. And then our time was 3:08.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's pretty
Okay, so
darn good.
that's the thing I need to tell like everyone. And if you are like I don't know, if someone like my story and if you want to do this thing, the things I have done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your qualifying time, regardless of whether you push a wheelchair or not, it's the same. It's the same.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So actually, that helps. Like me being a 45-year-old because I have the qualifying time of 3:08, and my qualifying time for my age group was 3:10, which is a 3:15 minus cutoff, like 3:10. I did
So
it.
you're
Right?
fine. Okay. Yeah.
I am
Good.
fine. Yeah. So now I was like, yeah, we are showing up. And it'll be an interesting competition. There are like usually 20 teams, 20 duo teams starting like at 9:30, which is like a
Okay.
30 minutes before everyone. And then, yeah, and there's another kind of competition going on. And then we will represent it's like a adaptive running community as well. There are different kind of like a marathoner out there. I will race with a friend of mine. As well as along the way, we need to learn how to get it into the duo community and how to participate the race, blah, blah, blah. There's so many folks like helping me. And there are so many folks like that paved the way for us to make it available. As far as like, I don't, I can, as much as possible, I would like to tell like their story as well. That's why I run this.
I love it. And it's certainly, obviously, a good cause. And I'm sure your friend Scott is super excited. When you're running the marathon, at least the first time, were you talking back and forth at all? Is he saying anything? Does it go faster or anything like that, or what?
He doesn't say that like a motivational things. To me, yeah. But of course, he does not dislike it. Yeah.
Good.
So that kind of thing.
How does he think about Boston? Is he super excited about getting to do this with you?
Yeah. So, and then that's something that not like a energy that we feel. Not only
Yeah.
him, also like his family, his friends. They're all excited, and then they prepare like t-shirts, that kind of thing.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of responsibility, but I can handle them. Can I talk about ones like anecdotes that that
Go ahead.
so MCM, Marine Corps Marathon was Sunday, right? And then we spent, Scott and I, like, spent one more day in DC. And then we all came back to Boston to Scott's house. I spent their family place over a week
Yeah.
after MCM. So this interesting happened, right? It's like a morning time. I need to help like a Scott family and stuff. I came to his daughter's school with Scott's wife Laura, and in the morning to drop her off at the school. So when I get there, school, all the teachers and the parents immediately identify who I am.
Wow.
Basically what happened is that Laura's parents already talked to the folks in the neighborhood on Monday. So everybody talked to me like, "Oh, you're gonna run Boston, Boston." I just felt the sort of a positive sense from community. Then that's that was great. And then yeah, so this is a positive sort of energy. It's like that sort of feeling that we inadvertently brought to like community. And then
Yeah.
that was something big that really got me that, okay, I really need to perform well in Boston. That sort of thing.
And I believe you will.
Thanks. Thanks.
I think that's awesome. Dots, this has been inspiring, and it wasn't really a story I was thinking about. And I'm really glad that you brought this up because this is going to be inspiring to many. It was for me. And I'm sure you and your friend Scott are going to do an amazing job. And I can't wait I'll be out there. So I'll be cheering. And I hope to see you guys at the very least at the finish line.
Sure.
Hopefully, I'll get a front row seat. At the very least, at some point, we'll get to see each other, Todd. So
Sure.
thank you
Sure.
so
Sure.
much for
Sure.
coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's yeah. I know like I'm doing a type of marathon that like some of the like a DFW runners I aspire that I don't think Kieran does it. I don't think Jose does it. So that's why I feel like I need to talk about this. And then maybe like a one or two listeners of you was a good runner and happen to have a friends like disabled, maybe interested. Just now they know who to reach out. So
100%.
yeah.
100%. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. The Boston Special is what I'm going to call it. Make sure you rate and review us and subscribe to our newsletter at dfwrunningtalk.substack.com. And Tots, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.